Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on this look here. So as I'm filming this video today, it is June 1st. And June 1st means that it's Pride Month. So I decided to do a rainbow inspired look today. Something easy, fun, and just bright and colorful. So if you guys want to see how I got this look here, go ahead and keep on watching. So I actually did this eye first. I haven't done this look before, so I kind of wanted to see how everything would go off camera before I showed you guys what I did. So this is kind of what it looks like. It might have to go in and do some touch-ups. And I took the eyeliner and did like a little tiny bit of a cat eye with it, but tried to blend it out with what was already there of the eyeshadow that I did. I definitely think that I went a little too ham with the red and the orange, so I kind of had to start trying to get everything else to fit in after. But you know what? I'm totally losing that green. I'm just gonna go in and add more to my green shade. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do this on this eye here. And basically, so I've been using two different palettes and I'm using eyeshadow instead of eyeliner. I don't have that many different eyeliner colors. I literally think I only have black and like glitter ones. So I am using eyeshadow for this, and I'm going between two different palettes. So I'm going with the Ace Flair palette and the September Rose Slush palette. Most of the colors are from the Ace palette, but I'll show you everything as we go. So this is already primed and everything. Basically what I've been doing, and I'm gonna actually clean off my hand, but I'm gonna show you before I clean off my hand. I was taking eyeshadow primer and taking the color that I was using, mixing them together, and then applying it. And I know I did that I believe I did that in another video already. I don't remember what one, but basically this is what the back of my hand looks like. Beautiful, colorful palette right here. So just taking the eyeshadow and then the eye primer, swirling them together, and then sometimes after I do that, I'm dipping back into the pan, depending on how much more pigment I think I need. But I feel like that just gives you more of an eyeliner consistency, and it's a little easier to apply versus just going in with a dry shadow. And it's not like completely wet or anything. You're just dipping your brush with the pigment and the eyeshadow primer. And I'm just using what's left of the eyeshadow primer I have from Wet n Wild. You can basically use any one that you want to. So I've just been putting some on the back of my hand, and then taking my eyeliner brush, going in with the color, mixing them together, and then, like I said, sometimes I'll take the brush after I do that and dip it back into the pan just for a little extra pigment. But I'm using an angled eyeliner brush. I'm using it from the brand, I want to believe it's pronounced Zaria. One of the brushes from my Amazon brush set that I bought. And this is what it looks like here. So I've been using this brush and cleaning it off after I've used each shade, and then going with a different shade basically. I don't have multiple of these guys, so that's why I'm doing that. But if you use a makeup wipe, that should be good enough. It's like spot cleaning basically, and it's honestly okay if you have some of the extra eyeshadow on there because you want it to blend anyways, so that might be fine. So I pick up the shade, and then I go on the back of my hand, take a little bit of the eyeshadow primer, kind of swirl it around to mix it together, and then so like that. And then if I need to, if I don't have enough pigment left, I just kind of dip back into the pan. And the shade that I'm using for this is the saffron color from the Ace palette. So it's this one here. It's kind of a reddy or an orangey red anyways, but I think it's perfect for what we're doing today. So, and I don't think I really have like a true red. I think this is probably the closest I have to a red eyeshadow. Honestly, I'm not sure. Okay, so you'll take that, and then we'll go in to the inner corner. So you're gonna start right in here. And I'm actually going to try and use a little bit less of the red than I did last time, just to have a little bit better of a gradient that I don't feel like I got on this eye. Okay, so I'm going to take a makeup wipe, kind of just spot clean that, kind of try to get as much color that I can out, but without taking too much time to make sure that it's completely clean. Of course, if you have more brushes, you can kind of just, honestly, if the ideal thing would have been like using one brush for the fire colors, basically, so like your red, orange, and yellow, and then using another brush for your cool colors, because it would be a little bit better for those to blend. But since I'm doing this here with a makeup wipe, it's totally fine. Okay, so the next shade that we're going to use is going to be the pumpkin shade out of. So this shade right here, and it's out of the Flair palette once again. So just take some on your brush. Gonna kind of tap off the excess. Go in with the eyeshadow primer swirled around in the back of my hand, and then just go in right next to that saffron shade. I'm just gonna dip back into that saffron shade to kind of blend these two out a little bit better. Then I went back into the pumpkin shade. I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit more pigment there before we move on to the yellow shade. Okay, so again, I'm gonna take that makeup wipe, clean off this brush just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go in with this banana shade. So it's this shade right here from the Slush palette. I don't think I've talked about this palette on my channel before. So it's from September Rose. They're an indie brand, and it's honestly just a gorgeous palette. It might have been like one of my first like full like rainbow palettes too, because I was always kind of intimidated by like a ton of bright colors, and now that's basically all I use most of the time. And then I actually want to use a little bit of the cider color from the Ace palette. I was kind of switching off between the two. Let me use that banana shade again though. I actually am going to get a Q-tip and kind of start over with that yellow shade, or just take a little bit of it off. I had a little extra primer on my brush, so it's kind of coming out a little chunky. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean up the yellow a little bit and then come back and start again with that. So one second. Okay, so I'm back and I cleaned that up a little bit, hopefully. I think I need to go back in with this orange shade. Now I can go back with the yellow shade, and it's that banana shade from September Rose. For some reason, I'm having kind of a difficulty with that banana shade, so I'm gonna go in with the cider shade from Ace. I think what I'm gonna do is take a little more of that pumpkin shade, kind of extend that out a little bit more than the cider shade from the Ace palette. And then we're gonna go in with this neon green shade from the Ace palette. So this one right here. Okay, now we're gonna try to go back in with that banana shade from the Slush palette. And then back in with that neon shade from the Flair palette. Then I'm gonna use this like aqua blue color. I believe it's Atlantis, and this is still from the Flair palette. So I'm just gonna pick that up with some of the eyeshadow primer that's on the back of my hand. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this dark purple shade from the Slush palette, so this one here. I need to like wet the brush, and since I've been using it a lot, it's kind of starting to flatten out. Probably using too much force with it, so the point's kind of starting to dull out. I cleaned the brush off with a makeup wipe and kind of like cleaned it off a little bit, and then tried to form the brush so it's a little more pointy. I also have foundation on my lips from doing my foundation earlier. I'm looking good. That's just the end of our wing there, basically. But I want that to be a little darker. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet the brush a little bit. So I really want to make sure that I've got more of a pointy end to this brush. So I'm gonna take my fingers and kind of smush the brush together. That way it's got more of a point. I was losing the point a little bit while I was doing all of the other shades, so just really want to make sure I've got a nice tip to it and really perfect the wing here. I still have a little bit of leftover foundation. I did my foundation earlier and then decided to take it off, so it looks like I kind of missed a spot. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, and I'm probably gonna speed this part up, but basically I'm gonna dip through the shades that we already used, kind of try to blend this out a little bit better than what I did, to make it a little more like this one here. And if I see anything on this side that I missed, I'll go through that. But I'm basically just going to be dipping through the same shades that I used, kind of trying to blend it a little bit better. And so I'm going to speed that part up, but at least keep the camera on so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So I think this looks pretty good. I'm gonna so I did a little bit of black eyeliner on this eye, so I'm gonna do it on this eye too and walk you guys through that. So it's really simple, and you totally don't have to do the eyeliner if you don't want to. I think it adds like a nice contrast, and I like doing eyeliner if I know I'm doing lashes, which I'm going to do lashes. So I just like the addition of it, and I mean, definitely it adds more contrast, as you can see here, versus this eye here. So why not? So I'm using this e.l.f. eyeliner, and I don't remember what the specific name of it is. Let me just clean off this packaging really fast. So it's this eyeliner here. So this guy here. I believe this eyeliner is like $2 or something. I think it's, or close to that. But basically just gonna do a really slight line close to my lash line and kind of very lightly wing it out just a little bit without doing like a full wing. And I usually start like right in this area here, go in the inner corner a little bit more, and then go out. And you're basically just very gently tapping the eyeliner close to the lash line. Honestly, the best way to describe it, it's like you're kind of stamping it a little bit. Like stamping and then dragging. And I feel like that technique kind of gives you a better, like a more precise line versus trying to like completely just paint it on, which you totally can do, and I do that from time to time. But if I want like a lighter, like a very thin line, it's easier just to kind of pat it basically. This eyeliner is kind of drying out a little bit too, so it would probably be better if I used a different one, but I'm so used to using this one that I would rather just have to kind of over apply it so I can get a better application of it versus like doing a different eyeliner that I have, because this one's my favorite. So once you get like right before the edge of your eye, just start to like angle it upwards more to really give that more cat eye effect. So like right about there. I'm not doing a full cat eye, but that way it just kind of flows like that. And what I did on the other side is I went in after I did the eyeliner and I went in with the purple shade to kind of try to buff out the end of my eyeliner. I really need to keep a cleaner space because I keep losing like the one thing that I need. So I would be using the eyeliner brush that I was using earlier if I didn't just lose it. So I'm gonna take one of my angled brushes that I would use for my eyebrows and just go into that purple shade that we use at the end and kind of blend out the edge of that eyeliner. I think I need to blend this out a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera while I finish the rest of my face, and I will show you guys what everything looks like, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Okay, so this is the finished look. I added a couple things to my eyes when I was off camera. So obviously I did my lashes. I added a little bit of the highlight that I use on my face. So I used this one here from I Heart Revolution. So I just used the highlight just in the inner corners, just ever so slightly, and then I last minute, right before I got back on, decided to add a little bit of white liner. This one is from NYX. So it's this one here, just to kind of brighten up my eyes just a little bit. So zoom you in just a little to see how everything looks. I'm not sure how I feel about the white eyeliner. May have used a little too much, and my eyes are getting really irritated right now just because, I don't know, AC and stuff like that, so they're very watery. You don't have to use the white liner, you can just leave it as how it is, or you can repeat the same rainbow pattern underneath. I decided not to do that. I just wanted to keep it like a simple wing. I'll just show you guys one more time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.